there was still lingering hurt and confusion. I was super excited to play. This is finally a player in my position that I can look up to, that has won in the league and has all these accomplishments and knows what it takes. I can learn something from her. Hull said, two-time champion winning vet. Then randomly she leaves and we're all just like, what happens? We were...
Okay, so Lexie just confirmed what everyone suspected, but nobody wanted to say out loud. They were never given an explanation. Think about that for a second. You're in the locker room every single day, building chemistry, trusting this veteran to lead you to a championship, and then one morning she's just gone. No conversation, no heads up, nothing. But here's what makes this absolutely wild, and you gotta understand the full context here because it gets so much worse. Lexie wasn't just some random teammate caught in the crossfire. She was the one who got hurt the most by Dewanna's arrival in the first place.
Let's take a look. It says, speaking to Hall about Bonner's decision to leave the Fever, it seemed to me that there was still lingering hurt and confusion. She said, I was super excited because finally there's a player in my position that I can look up to who has won in the league and has these accomplishments and knows what it takes, and I can learn something from her. Hall says of the two-time championship winning vet.
Listen to that excitement in her voice. Finally, there's a player in my position that I can look up to. Lexie was genuinely hyped. She saw Dewanna as a mentor, someone who'd been through championship runs, someone who knew what it took to win at the highest level. And check this out, the Fever organization went all in on making Dewanna feel valued. They put her on the Sports Illustrated cover instead of Lexie. Let that sink in. Lexie Hull, who'd been grinding with this team through the worst seasons in franchise history, who stuck around when nobody else wanted to be there, got passed over for the new veteran who just signed. The organization basically told Lexie, we're betting on her, not you. Lexie's playing time got slashed. There was a whole month where she couldn't crack 15 minutes per game. She went from being a core member of the team to watching from the bench while Dewanna got starter minutes. And you know what Lexie did? She embraced it. She bought into the team first mentality. She trusted the process. Now here's where the psychology gets fascinating.
Never giving an explanation. So, it was one of those things where obviously maybe the organization knew and they were trying to trade her, but she didn't tell her teammates anything. Like, it wasn't like look, let's be real. People can be pissed at a team level, but on a human level, if a teammate literally just goes,
to have no explanation was really challenging. That's putting it incredibly diplomatically, because what Lexie's describing here isn't just unprofessional, it's a complete violation of trust on a human level. And you gotta understand the timing of all this. The Fever weren't some dysfunctional mess when Dewanna arrived. They had Caitlin Clark, the biggest star in women's basketball. They had Kelsey Mitchell having an all-star caliber season. They had Aliyah, Boston improving every game. This was a team on the rise, a team with legitimate playoff aspirations. Everyone was bought in. But what most people don't realize is how Dewanna's exit exposed something way bigger than just one player quitting. It revealed the entire power dynamic in the WNBA and how veterans can basically hold teams hostage. Because here's what actually went down behind the scenes.
we're in this together. I stand by this. If Dewanna Bonner doesn't leave, the Indiana Fever maybe aren't as good. The Indiana Fever aren't this unbelievable resolve, us against the world, fuck the lot of yous. They don't have...
Did you catch that? We're not just gonna leave because something didn't go your way. That's a direct shot. That's Lexie calling out exactly what happened without explicitly saying it. Because Dewanna wasn't playing poorly because of some mysterious injury or bad fit. She was playing poorly because she forgot how to play basketball the moment things got competitive. She was shooting threes off the backboard. She looked completely cooked. And instead of grinding through it like professionals do, instead of working with the coaching staff to find her role, she just quit. And get this, Dewanna had been hyping up the Fever organization just days before. She was posting about the incredible facilities, the fan support, how blessed she felt to be there. Then suddenly she's demanding out? The math doesn't add up unless you understand what really triggered this decision. Let me connect the dots for you, because this is where it gets absolutely insane.
Her fiance accused the fans of shouting racist abuse at another player. Without any evidence, nothing. Her fiance accused that of happening. at Angel Reese, which never happened. Even Angel Reese said it never happened. But then she backed down. Like she said she heard nothing, and then claimed it happened, even though she heard nothing, even though no one heard anything. No one heard anything, but it happened because some random person on Twitter who.
Okay, so this is the theory that actually makes sense when you look at the timeline. Dewanna's fiance, Alyssa Thomas, was publicly trashing Indiana fans, accusing them of racism without any evidence, creating this toxic narrative around the organization. And Dewanna's supposed to just show up to work every day in that environment? But here's the kicker. Alyssa was doing this while Dewanna was still on the team. She was sabotaging her own partner's workplace. And whether Dewanna asked her to stop or not, the damage was done. The relationship between Dewanna and the organization became impossible to repair. Now watch how Lexie describes what happened next, because this is where the team's true character shows through.
To have no explanation was really challenging, but I think they help us grow closer together because we're like, all right, this is us. We're here. We're going to support each other. We're loving each other. We're going to fight. We're not going to leave. We're in this together. We're going to fight. We're not just going to leave because something didn't go your way.
This is us. We're here. We're going to support each other. That moment right there, that's when the Fever transformed from a collection of talented players into an actual championship caliber team. Because sometimes the best thing that can happen to a team is losing someone who was never really committed in the first place. And the results speak for themselves. After Dewanna left, the Fever went on an absolute tear. They developed an us against the world mentality that carried them all the way to the semifinals. They pushed the defending champion Aces to overtime in a Game 5. They became the story of the entire season. But what's even more insane is how Dewanna acted after she left, because quitting was bad enough. Might what she did next was straight up disrespectful.
Ordered to go to Phoenix. She didn't care how much she fucked over the organization as she signed. She didn't care how much she fucked over all of her teammates. She wanted to go to Phoenix no matter what. And she wanted the Phoenix Mercury didn't want to trade for her. And the Phoenix Mercury, by the way, didn't even really want to sign her.
She hit a shot in Lexie's face and was talking trash. Let that sink in. You quit on a team mid-season, you refuse to give your former teammates any explanation, and then when you play against them, you're out here showboating? That's not competitive fire. That's guilt manifesting as aggression. Because deep down, Dewanna knew she'd handled the situation in the worst possible way. She knew she'd let down her teammates, and instead of owning it, she tried to act like she was the victim. And the Mercury organization enabled all of it. They tampered with a player under contract. They coordinated this whole exit strategy. And you know what's crazy? They didn't even really want her that badly.
They were trying to sign Emma. Like, it is what it is. They were trying to sign Emma, and she was the first priority. Not Dewanna. Emma was their first priority, which is why she wasn't signed straight away. But yeah, it's one of those things.
The Mercury waited until they struck out on Emma Miesemann before signing Dewanna. She was literally the backup plan. So she blew up her relationship with Indiana, forced her way out, caused all this drama to be someone's second choice. Now here's what makes this situation so much deeper than just basketball drama. Because what Lexie's revealing here exposes a fundamental problem in how the WNBA handles player movement and accountability. When you let veterans force their way out with zero consequences. When you let them collect paychecks while refusing to show up. When you let them trash organizations publicly without any pushback. You're creating a culture where younger players learn that loyalty means nothing. And Lexie saw all of this play out in real time. She watched the organization bend over backwards to accommodate Dewanna. She watched her own role diminish to make room for someone who was never really committed. She watched a veteran with championship experience teach the exact wrong lessons about professionalism and accountability. But you know what's actually inspiring about this whole situation? How Lexie chose to respond.
Lexie Hall is one of the people who made the cover. And they talk about some of her early career struggles prior to Caitlin Clark. And we'll highlight this here. Where it says all that came to a change when Caitlin Clark joined the Fever in 2024, breaking assist records and bringing sold out crowds to Gainbridge Fieldhouse. By the end of 2024 All-Star break, Hall was able to let go some of the fear that was holding her back. I know I'm going to get...
Caitlin Clark saved Lexie's career. That's not an exaggeration. Before Caitlin arrived, Lexie was fighting for minutes, dealing with confidence issues, wondering if she even belonged in the league. Then suddenly she's playing alongside the best passer in basketball, getting wide open looks, rediscovering her three-point stroke. And this is why the Dewanna situation hits different when you understand the full context. Because while Dewanna was quitting on the team, Lexie was experiencing a complete career renaissance. While Dewanna was complaining about her role, Lexie was embracing hers and thriving. While Dewanna was looking for the exit, Lexie was diving for loose balls with two black eyes and refusing to come out of games. The contrast couldn't be more stark. And now, months later, Lexie's finally opening up about how much that betrayal actually hurt.
Let's take a look. It says, speaking to Hall about Bonner's decision to leave the Fever, it seemed to me that there was still lingering hurt and confusion. She said, I was super excited because finally there's a player in my position that I can look up to who has won in the league and has...
We were never given an explanation. That phrase keeps coming back because it's the core of everything. In professional sports, you're gonna face adversity. Players get traded, coaches get fired, seasons don't go as planned. That's all part of the business. But there's a right way and a wrong way to handle those situations. You can request a trade and be honest with your teammates about why you're unhappy. You can have difficult conversations and maintain relationships even when you're leaving. You can show respect for the people you're walking away from. Dewanna did none of that. She just vanished and expected everyone to be okay with it. And then when fans booed her mais, which is literally what fans do in every sport when a player quits on their team, she played the victim card and talked about being cyber-bullied. But here's what Lexie understands that Dewanna apparently doesn't.
Players, her fiance shit-talked the organization, and I stand by this. I fully believe the reason why Dewanna Bonner quit had nothing to do with the basketball. I fully believe the reason why Dewanna Bonner quit was because, let's not forget, Dewanna Bonner, I don't know these players.
If that's what it takes for you guys to come and try extra hard, I think a little bit of that is needed across the league. Lexie gets it. She understands that rivalries and emotion and fans being passionate, that's what makes sports compelling. That's what makes moments matter. The Fever got everyone's best shot all season long, and they embraced it. They didn't complain about it. They didn't ask for sympathy. They just showed up and competed. And that mentality, that resolve, that bring it on attitude, that all came from having to overcome Dewanna's betrayal at the start of the season. So in a twisted way, maybe Dewanna leaving was the best thing that could have happened to Indiana, because it forced everyone else to step up. It forced the team to find their identity. It forced them to build something real instead of relying on a veteran who was never really invested in the first place. And now we're seeing the long-term consequences play out. Dewanna got swept in the first round with Phoenix. The Fever pushed the eventual champions to the brink. Lexie's on magazine covers talking about her breakthrough season. Caitlin's revolutionizing the league. Everything worked out exactly how it should have, but what happens next season? That's the question nobody's really asking yet, because Dewanna's still in Phoenix, still playing alongside her fiancé, still trying to justify her decision to quit on Indiana, and the Fever are running it back with their core intact, with chemistry that's been battle-tested, with a mentality forged through adversity. When these teams meet again, when Dewanna steps onto that court in Indianapolis, when the crowd rains down boos and Lexie's guarding her, that's when we'll really see who made the right choice. That's when the narrative gets written for good, because sports have a funny way of exposing the truth, and the truth is that loyalty and commitment and grinding through tough moments, that's what builds championship teams. Not quitting when things get hard. Like and subscribe if you're Team Lexie on this one, because this story is far from over.